the process on marae may vary. Each marae, each hapu with a whare nui and a marae atea, they're autonomous. And the people who belong to there, they decide what the rules are going to be and how they're going to carry them out. So, on this marae we sit on this side of the whare nui. If you go to Ngāti Toa, they sit on the other side. But they're still relatives of the people here. But they're a different hapu down there.
Prior to the manuhiri coming onto the marae, in terms of preparing the manuhiri, one of the things that we did, and they did themselves, is bring people together. Because even though you have a visiting group, you often have people coming from different localities. So it's important that the visiting group themselves come together, just to check that there was a designated speaker. And also, given that speakers or oratory is also supported by waiata, then also just making sure that we were prepared in that respect. When the group moves on to the marae, the female members of the group are generally in the front, and the male members of the group are at the back or around the sides, So once we were prepared, then we were able to move into a place where it was visible, where we were visible to the tangata whenua, so that they could see that we had collected ourselves, that we had gathered there, and we were ready to be called on to the marae.
The tangata whenua, or local people, will always determine the start of the Powhiri ceremony. The kaikaranga, or female orator, will issue the first call, signalling to the manuhiri or visitors that they may now advance onto their marae. The manuhiri kaikaranga will respond, and a conversation will take place where both will establish their relationships, acknowledging and paying tribute to those who have passed away from both groups, and then the purpose of the gathering.
In the old days, you had to be beyond childbearing age to do the welcoming call. You didn't put up women who can still bear children in case someone from the visiting party gives you a whittle. In other words, they make you barren. But things have changed.
Generally, coming on to marae, we move up into the point where we pause. The purpose for pausing is to pay respects for those people who provided the land, but also for those people in general that have passed on from the marae. Then we move forward again towards the whare nui in respect of that ancestor who is the ancestor for all those tangata whenua.
The local kaikaranga will complete this process by inviting the visitors to be seated.
Then the whai-kōrero or welcoming speeches begin.
Powhiri will generally take place in the open space in front of the whare nui, which is termed the marae atea, or te marae o tū matauenga, the battleground of words.
So, if you've got a grievance when you come on, this is the place to express it, on the marae. On the marae atea. Okay?
Part of the reason being is that you're exposed to the natural elements, the sun, the wind, the rain. And so, if there is a point where people may say things that the other group may find that they don't necessarily agree with, it allows those things to be aired. They've been aired. The wind can come along and blow them away. The rain can come along and wash it away. Or people can move around and just trample it into the ground.
And when you go into the whare nui, you're inside the ancestor. And there's no safest place to be than inside the body of your ancestor.
It does vary for other reasons, and different tribal regions do things in different ways.
On this marae, the process is called TE+MARAE. In other words, the tangata whenua speak first, then the manuhiri reply, and you may have more than one speaker on either side. But the tangata whenua will always close the speeches. The other process, that's called TE+MARAE, the other process is called Powhiri, where all the tangata whenua will speak first, followed by all the manuhiri.
Once the first speaker had spoken and the tangata whenua had sung their waiata, then they passed things over to us, the visitors.
Katau ha whakatau, ko te rangi e tui hone. Katau ha whakatau, kia papa, ke tapotone.
I was our first speaker.
Tui a te rangi ki te whenua ki te rangi. Tupu mauri ora ki te
And then we had our waiata.
Ti hei mauri ora.
And then we had our second speaker. And then we had our waiata. You know, the main reason for that is that the waiata have a way of supporting those things that are being said. It may also emphasize certain things through the waiata that has been chosen. But it also keeps reminding us that we are always linked to those who have passed on. The things that have been said or the words that have been spoken, there's a state of tapu that exists. So speakers, when they speak, they are also under that state of tapu. So waiata also have a way of lifting that tapu off a speaker as well. So, you know, the waiata, from a traditional point of view, have a key purpose, and then a koha was laid down.
Well, the koha, that's a contribution to the success, I guess, of the hui. It's not compulsory, but it's expected. I mean, it's part of the tradition.
Following the koha, and the koha being offered and received, then the final speaker from the tangata whenua then spoke, and partly to round up or summarise things that had been said by speakers, but also to reiterate the purpose for the Powhiri, the reason why this group of teachers was coming to the marae.
Hongi is our way of greeting people, and there's no more intimate way to greet a person than to share the same life breath. And that's why you hongi with your nose, not with your forehead, as some people do. It's not a headbutt.
The marae is a good place to learn those things, to be part of, and also to get an appreciation of the different, I suppose, tikanga, the different concepts, cultural concepts, traditions that operate for Māori.